Hi everyone, my name is Dominique Harris and I am student B of the Neurodevelopmental Intellectual Developmental Disability Condition presentation. So the article that I chose to focus on is titled Needs of Adolescents and Young Adults with Neurodevelopmental Disorders, Comparisons of Young People and Parent Perspectives. Now, the title of the article pretty much encompasses exactly the focus of what the article is. It was a study that was conducted with the purpose to be able to see the perspective of what young people with intellectual developmental disorders feel that their needs are compared to what their parents feel their needs are. Both perspectives are important in providing necessary services to the young person. Their perspectives are important in prioritizing those services. So their need is not just based on their clinical diagnosis, but should be individualized to what the young person needs. Therefore, what they are able to communicate are their need, and what their parent is able to communicate with their need. And them being aligned on that and will be able to help prioritize the services to be able to meet the needs that the individual requires. Um, it also helps to kind of ensure that all of their needs are being met. Nothing is going um, Nothing is being missed or overlooked. And when they're able to get the services they require to meet their needs, and that is being worked on, it then hopefully helps with the transition into adulthood. So what they did was they conducted a study. They used 168 families with young people that aged from 14 to 24 years old who have a diagnosis of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD or a autism spectrum disorder or ASD. They met with the individuals face to face and utilized a standardized assessment. The assessment was like a 0 to 2 scale. 0 meaning there's no need, 1 indicating that the need is met, and 2 indicating that there was an unmet need, and they used 9 to reference not known. The assessment consisted of 25 different domains, and these domains included food, self-care, basic education, social relationships, physical health, safety of others, and many others. So they were able to assess and be able to compare basically the young person's needs versus what the parent needs or felt the needs were. And reading the article, and I pretty much, made my hypothesis and kind of figured, what I thought the outcome would be. And so the outcome wasn't too shocking when I saw that the agreement of the two was very poor. 21 out of the 25 domains, they were not in agreement at all. It also didn't shock me that, what they were able to do was break the two down into subgroups. So the ASD subgroup and the ADHD subgroup. Now, parents in the ASD subgroup rated higher level of need across all domains. And that's pretty much what I thought was going to happen. That was my thought process in reading the article, that parents would, score higher in thinking that their child is in need of more help versus what the child feels what they need. What I did find interesting was in the ADHD subgroup, the young people rated a higher level of need in the domains of physical health, eyesight and hearing, seizure, other mental health problems, and safety of others. I found that to be interesting because I believe ADHD is kind of just viewed as um, a child who has difficulty paying attention and focusing and is always moving or doing something. So I found it um, pretty interesting that these young people were able to communicate and say, that no, I do have a need in these areas as well. I do have issues with my physical health and other mental health problems, and my eyesight and hearing are an issue for me. I think that was, should be able to help their parents even kind of realize, like, there's more to it. There's more to ADHD than just being hyper. There's other components that go to it, and hopefully that helps, the parent, teaches the parent, and helps the parent be more aligned with their child. The one thing about this study was that it did consist mostly of males, so this would be something that I would be interested to see if the results would be the same with more female youth. If the intellectual developmental diagnosis, if there would be a difference between the male youth and predominantly female youth, or if it would consistently kind of much so show the same results. But I think overall, like mentioned earlier, this information really does help the service providers be able to provide young people who do have a diagnosis of intellectual developmental disorders with individualized services based on their need and not just their clinical diagnosis. I also included 3 websites which will be very helpful. They all provide an ample amount of information regarding intellectual developmental disorders. They go into great detail and can give some background information and more in-depth information to be able to help have a better understanding of exactly what these disorders are and what they mean. The last of the websites is called the ARC.org, and they are actually the largest national community-based organization that advocate for individuals that have intellectual and developmental disorders. They advocate for them and their families. And if you go on the website, they have so much information, and you're able to get information on how you can get involved, how you can donate, and be a part if that's something you're interested in doing. They really advocate with protecting their rights as individuals, and it's pretty amazing. They have a lot on their website. It's really helpful, and it's was great information for me. That concludes our presentation, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.